Lucy Ann, tell us about the organization that has taken over Rosalie and maintains it in the condition it's in today.
The Mississippi State DAR bought Rosalie from the granddaughters of the owners from 1850 in the 1930s. The little old ladies were destitute. They had no Social Security, no welfare, and one of the family members had done some things that were not quite right, and there was absolutely no money. Two little old ladies had the house for sale, and the DAR were thrilled to death to buy it. The DAR borrowed the money from the state legislature because most of their husbands were in the state legislature, so they borrowed $15,000. Miss Annie and Miss Rebecca wanted to sell the house. It was necessary for their livelihood, but they said, where would we go and what would we do? And the DAR said, no problem. You can stay in the house and you can make the pralines and you can sell the pecans and you can take the tourists on tours, which they did until their death. Miss Annie died in about 1957.
Now the DAR throughout the country actually has taken over a number of properties to keep them from going into disrepair.
Oh, absolutely. There are three reasons for the DAR to be active, and that is patriotism, restoration, and education. We own 3 schools somewhere in the mountains, Crossnore, Kate Duncan Smith, and Tamassie, that we sponsor. Each state organization is autonomous, and so each state spends the money how they want to. The state here bought Rosalie in Natchez.
Now let's talk about Rosalie, because this is such a beautiful home.
Isn't it lovely?
It is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And the furnishings in the home are original?
Well, the little old ladies, over a period of time, agreed to sell the furnishings and some of the objects to the DAR. So they lived here with their things, eventually selling the objects to the DAR. So, yes, the bowl right over here just came back within the last 5 years. I found a cousin out in Idaho, and she gave it back to us. I picked up the bowl, I put it down on that table, and the whole room just came to life.
How many rooms do we have?
Well, let's see. We have 4 on the first floor and 4 on the second, 2 large halls on each floor, a full attic, and a full basement.
Very antebellum, that is, as far as the breezes that could come through, the doors set exactly the same.
Yeah. The house was built in about 1822. We know that because Audubon was here that winter, and he painted a panorama of the city of Natchez with a brick kiln right out here. The bricks were being made for this house. So the house is very antebellum. It is sort of federal, it is Georgian, a little modification here and there, but it is definitely 1820.
Now, do we have, are we in the parlor here, or is this, what room do we call it?
Actually, these rooms were never used except for very, very special occasions. And because the family was so big, they were not called the gentleman's parlor or the ladies' parlor, but this was the music room. The piano over there is a Pleyel, 1840. This one was purchased after the Civil War when Captain Rumble married daughter Fanny, and they had 6 children. So this is a more modern piano and has 56, 52 keys, whatever a modern piano has.
Right. Oh, I see.
Yeah. That one just has a few. It has like 40 keys.
Mm-hmm. Now, upstairs, was that basically the bedrooms?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The bedrooms were always upstairs. For years, the ladies and the DAR said that one of those bedrooms upstairs was Grant's bedroom. But the guru of the Grant knowledge appeared in Natchez not too many years ago for the history conference and said, Grant never slept at Rosalie. But we have been able to prove that he at least walked through, because this was Union headquarters from like August of 1863, to probably, maybe as late as 1866.
Mm-hmm. Well, I notice that there are other activities that go on here at Rosalie. As a matter of fact, as we are recording today, there is a wedding that is going to take place on the grounds. Yes. This evidently is happening more and more often here.
Yes, yes. We got the idea several years ago. I think it was after 9/11 and then Katrina. These were disasters to the tourist business. And with these beautiful grounds, we decided, well, maybe we could try weddings. And they've really taken, because they can rent all of the ground.
And they can utilize both the front area, the front walkway.
They can use the front walkway. They can use the porches. They can use. We have a commercial kitchen outside. They've got plenty of places to park. They can get married in the garden if they want to. They could get married out here if they want to. But only the bride can have her picture taken inside the house.
That does keep the house more in line with staying the way it is all the time.
Yeah,
you'd have 200 or 300 people walking through.
Right,
yeah.
Right. We try to go by museum standards, and museum standards say things like no fresh flowers, nothing to drink, nothing to eat. So there would be nothing to encourage bugs or spoilage or staining and so forth.
Sure. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the home and the various months of the year. You have different themes here at Rosalie.
Well, we do. Right now we're in the middle of the wedding. We know there were several weddings in Rosalie. One of them had a Mexican band. We have a month where we show mourning with the black and the casket and so forth, because the casket would have been in this house. There was no funeral parlors in those days. Because the USS Mississippi, which was decommissioned, I believe, in 1967, gave us the punch bowl from the ship and the bell from the ship. We have things from the ship that we display over the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm. So then of course you have some events.
Christmas,
yes. Of course, and then the Balloon Fest.
Oh, the Balloon Fest is fabulous. Yeah, we have that out in our bicentennial garden, absolutely, and we love it.
Lucy Ann, thank you so much for telling us about Rosalie, and I know you invite anyone to come when they come to Natchez to come in and take a tour.
Absolutely, every hour on the hour.